Hello, everyone. This is Al-Fadi, and we welcome you again to this seems to be, a fantastic series in terms of refuting the supposed scientific miracles of the Quran. Last time, myself and Dr. J. Smith addressed one of those claims that has to do with why mountains exist. And I thought Dr. J. Smith did an excellent job in even illustrating different geological formations and explanations of why mountains exist and how they are forming, and therefore debunking this claim that the mountains supposedly are created to stabilize the earth. Today, we're going to get into another one of those claims. This time, it's talking about semen, and the fact that semen originates in the back or in the kidney of the male. So, Dr. J. Smith, welcome back. What do we have to say about this, my friend?
Semen.
Yeah.
And this is not the men who are on the sea, who are Marines. No, this is the semen that creates you and me.
That's right.
This is the that we all know where that comes from, and I don't think we need to explain that here. If you've
So today is biology.
The birds and the bees, you know where the semen comes from.
That's
but
right.
Let's open up to chapter 86, Surah 86, verse 5, 6, and 7. I'm just going to read it from the Quran in the English translation. Sorry, not the translation, the interpretation of the meaning of the Noble Quran. But nonetheless, you'll get to see what it says here. So, let man see from what he is created. So, where is man created or woman created? And this is generic. He is created from a water gushing forth, proceeding from between the backbone and the ribs. So, we're talking about the kidneys here. Between the backbone and the ribs is the kidneys.
Right.
If that is the case, I would question whether or not whoever wrote that had ever really looked and understood where the semen comes from. Obviously, it's that this is, I would say this is an error. But why would they say this?
That's right. There's always a source for it.
There's always, not always, but in this case there is a source for it. And we can go back to the Greek writers. In the 5th century BC, you have Hippocrates. Hippocrates is well known as a writer. He did an awful lot of studies. He did an awful lot of studies on bees. And that's why people like to use him. And he also talked about this very thing, that the semen comes from the kidneys between the backbone and the ribs. Almost exactly what is written in the Quran has been borrowed from that source. Now, okay, you say, did Hippocrates make a mistake? Yes, he did. Obviously, he made a mistake. But I would even go one step further and say, how is it that it got into the Quran then? Well, if you want to look and ask, where is it that we get all this material from the Greeks from? Socrates, Aristotle, Hippocrates, we don't have any of their originals. They don't exist. Everything we know about the Greeks and what they wrote, these great Greek scholars and philosophers, was translated by the Muslims themselves in the 9th and 10th century. They took their writings, translated them to Arabic, and then they got rid of their writings. I don't know why they did, because we don't have any of them to go back to see how well they translated them. But what was fascinating, in translating and having access to these Greek writings, they incorporated and borrowed an awful lot of them, the duality that we see in chapter 85, verse 22, this duality of this preserved tablet, this idea that all right through the scriptures of God never entering time and space, that God's up here and man's down here and needs these intermediaries, these demiurges. What is a demiurge? That's Greek. That whole duality of God being solely other and not being able to intersect with man that we see in the Bible is straight out of the Greek text. In borrowing the Greek text, they also borrowed the Greek concepts. In borrowing the Greek concept, in this case, they borrowed where Hippocrates thought that semen comes from. Now we know good and well it comes from the testes, not from the kidneys.
Absolutely, and science can prove that. And if any Muslim have any doubts about that, then we have a problem. Well, brother, thank you so much for sharing this with our audience, and we hope that they find this very helpful in your own interactions with our Muslim friends. This, the reason why we're doing it one by one is we would like for you to have it as a tool. It makes it easier for you to share about a specific claim. And Lord willing, we will continue to add more and more to this series as we find some of those interesting ones that are being often used by our Muslim friends. Until we meet again, have a blessed day. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, hit the bell so that you don't miss future videos. And please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/Sira International. And together we can introduce Muslims to the gospel of Jesus Christ. Thank you.